Welcome back inside the Gamecocks, the morning show powered by Electric Bikes of Charleston, the best programming in the land where our girlfriends don't tell us what we can and can't talk about. Hey, John.
What's going on?
Hey, whoa. What's going on with you? Look at the hairdo, man.
Just a no hat day.
What looks good, John?
It's aerodynamic.
Man.
Funny.
Your 40 time would go down at least 0.3 of a second with that cut.
That's right. That's right.
Boom.
You think that would be approved by Belichick's gal?
I would hope so.
How
How about an awkward interview that was?
Man, oh man.
Yeah, something's missing here.
Talk about being whipped.
It's so weird.
I don't even know if it's whipped. I think something's
a little off.
Something's off, man. I mean, she gets a say in every single thing that he there's. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Something's off with this story.
Yeah,
never seen
it. Hey, Bill, Uncle Mike here. It's going to get old in about 6 months.
Yeah, it might already be old. He just doesn't have a choice.
Well, I mean, unless she's pregnant, he's got a choice.
Well,
there's something. Bill could find some other. He could be a sugar daddy to somebody else if he's really that desperate.
Something.
Something. We all know something's off. Anybody that saw that interview, that was like beyond cringeworthy.
We're not talking
100.
about that. Whoa. Okay.
Okay.
He had a hole in the sweatshirt that he was wearing.
Yeah, what the hell, dude?
Come on, man.
Come on.
I mean, that's how Belichick rolls.
I guess.
That's how you know she didn't love him. If she really loved him, you don't let your man roll out on national TV with a hole in the sweatshirt. I mean, Jamie, would your wife, either one of your wives, let you go out on a nationally televised interview? I get it. The sweatshirt's kind of his thing. But then a hole in it. No, come on. That's not love.
My wife didn't even know what I do for a living. So I don't even know that she would even recognize that I was in front of a camera with a holy shirt.
If you said, honey, I'm about to be on CBS this morning in front of millions of people, I'm guessing Mrs. Bradford will say, Jamie, clean up. Get the hat off. Put a patch on the hole on the sweatshirt and be presentable. You're representing the Bradford family.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I don't know. I don't think she really cares, to be honest with you. I went to a birthday party with a T-shirt on this past weekend, and she was like, "You're not dressing up?" I was like, "Nope." And she was like, "Okay."
Well, you got off easy then.
Yeah, I just do what I want to do. Can't you tell? I'm in charge around here. I'm just kidding. I'm nowhere near the top of the totem pole in this house. I'm below the dog, way below. Based on the price of the food we buy her, I can tell I'm at the bottom end of this deal. John, so what's the deal here, man? You sent me and Mike a text. You said you explain it.
While I was working, I had you guys on in the background, and I heard y'all bring up Cody. I was like, are they talking about Cody? So me and Cody were roommates in the Senior Bowl we played in out of college. And so I've known Cody since 2000, right at the beginning of 2005. We kind of kept in touch to see if each other, wind up making an NFL team. But other than that, after that, kind of fell off, didn't hear from him. Then he pops up in 2017, and, I'm in the oil business, but I'm on the refining side. He's in the drilling and owning the most precious land in the world, Permian Basin land. So popped up in 17, him and his buddy sold 70-something thousand acres on the Permian Basin for like $2.8 billion. Whoa. And then he popped up again and sold another company that
Double Eagle.
Double Eagle, but
for $4 billion.
They're all called something different. Well, 3 different sales, Mike.
First one was
2.8.
Yeah.
The second one was like 6.4 billion. I think on that deal, that was like 2021. I think they split $1 billion. They got $1 billion in cash, and like Pioneer, which is one of the largest drilling companies in the world, gave them like $5.4 billion worth of shares in their stock. And then just recently, they sold another company for $4 billion, and they got $3 billion in cash and $1 billion in stock. So that's Cody. So yes, he is a billionaire. I think him and his wife donated like $20 million to the university, or 25 back in 2021. And that's why the field is named Cody Campbell Field. So yeah, then of course Chrissy's twin sisters, her younger twin sisters, they both went to Texas Tech, so everybody knows Cody. So yeah, that's how I know Cody. I've known Cody for 20 years now.
Are you like friends with this guy? This seems like a good guy to know, Strick.
Nah, like I said, after we kept up each other for see if each other made an NFL team, but after that, kind of went our separate ways.
You need to relight that flame, John.
Yeah, you need to relight that flame.
I'm good. I'm not a coattail rider, that's for sure.
Well, not for you personally, but maybe you could turn this guy into a Gamecock. Like Texas Tech's going to be his team. But maybe this becomes his like adopted team. It's different.
Well, you know what the thing is, if all these bills pass and the revenue sharing thing comes about, all his money for paying players isn't going to matter. He knew he had to do it now, and I think that's why he even came out publicly and said, we're going to go pay for this team for this upcoming 2025 season.
Right.
And then that's what he's done, because once this rev share starts, and I think with some of these bills that are going to pass to limit this, to put a stranglehold on it like it needs to be done, his money's not going to – I mean, it's going to matter for the university, for facilities and everything else to, recruit prospects. But as far as just being able to shell out millions of dollars and just pay players or whatever, that's going to go away.
Under the table, back man.
Yeah, I know. But you know what I mean? Legally, like
yes.
You're allowed to do it now.
Yes, on the books.
I mean, trust me, if I had the money Cody had, we would have a loaded up roster, big time loaded up roster right now in South Carolina.
Yeah, exactly.
Me too. Don't worry. I would do anything
for all sports. Every sports team we have here would be loaded.
Yeah.
Well, they're on the subject of Mr. Cody Campbell and Texas Tech. Their portal class, which is ranked number 1.
Oh yeah.
Is valued north of $10 million, and it's basically implied that he had a major factor.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he probably just wrote a $15 million check to the NIL and said, "Here you go."
Yeah, like it's nothing.
Yeah,
like
it's pocket change. It's pocket change.
Like us giving $50. I mean,
pretty much.
Here you go.
Yeah.
That's
like my 4,000 I give for Silver Spur. It's like him giving the 15 million. It's just like whatever.
Yeah.
You might feel the 4,000 more than he feels the 15 million.
Yes, 100%.
I that's all a tax write-off, isn't it? Isn't that the
not anymore, it's not.
Yeah.
No?
It's
you
not.
Can't.
So like your seat tax you pay. So like I changed my seats this year.
Oh, Mike, you're asking about the 15 million. You're not talking about the Gamecock Club membership.
Well, no, I'm asking about any of it.
The Gamecock Club membership and the seat tax on the seats used to be write-offs, and not anymore.
Right.
Oh, that changed?
The government changed that like 4 or 5 years ago.
The state or the federal?
All of it.
Oh, okay. But what about this guy giving 15 million?
Well, that's just him giving the money to an NIL to pay players. There's no write-off in that.
There's no write-off with that?
No.
Okay.
Now I'm sure the 25 million he donated to the university was a write-off.
Right.
Because that's just a donation.
Right.
But the Gamecock Club, right? Like I'm a Silver Spur, so I give my $4,000 a year. But it's structured different because you're getting benefits off of it, right? So you're getting benefits through the athletic department to get, like I get premium seating if I want it. There's a bunch of perks that go into it, and you're given stuff. He just that $25 million. It was a donation.
Right.
Now he did get his name on the field, but I don't know. I wouldn't call that really a perk.
There's got to be something.
I'm sure there's loopholes, but
with the right
Mike,
CPA, there's got to be some type of benefit.
I'm sure there is.
I mean, this is above all our pay grades, right? So we don't live in this world. But when I hear all these millionaires and billionaires giving away all this money, the thing I always used to hear was, yeah, but it's a write-off. But I don't understand all that. It's not my world. I don't know.
Well, used to, you get charged seat taxes on your seats for football games. And so, like, I just upgraded. I'm in the Traditions Club now, so we have club seats. And so my tax on the seat went way up. You used to be able to write that tax off as a tax.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can no longer do it.
Yeah.
Jamie, as a millionaire, as the Bradford family has been for several generations, how does this all work? How do you write stuff off?
Right. Yeah. I can't tell you that, or I'd probably have to kill both of you and anybody else that's listening to this. Yeah. Well, we need, this guy happens to be in the state at any point in time in the near future. Just give us a heads up, John.
Yeah. No kidding.
Love to track him down.
Ever in Atlanta, you need a place to crash. We'll make that happen.
Yeah. Plenty of room.
I'll give 10 cents to the Matador Club.
Yeah.
Just for the effort.
John, we were a little off with our draft picks.
Man, I'm shocked. I honestly, the two biggest shocks to me are OD and Rocket. I don't think there's 18 running backs better than Rocket Sanders in that draft. And there was a lot of other people that didn't think so either, that had Rocket on their draft board in the late rounds. So a little stumped on that one. The OD one, though, is probably the most surprising out of all of it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man, but I think both of those guys will wind up getting on a team. We all said the Josh Simon thing was a long shot. That was kind of my 8th draft pick. I thought would get drafted.
See, I thought he was. I thought he'd get picked.
I did too, and I don't think he'll have any trouble making the Falcons roster.
Not at all.
So, a little shocked. I thought we would have 8, maybe squeeze out a 9th somewhere, but because I thought Torricelli could maybe get that 7th round pick and be the 9th guy. But I thought for sure OD and Rocket would get drafted. So just, I don't know. Sometimes things just don't work out like you think they will.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that haven't really been widely discussed, and I'm not really sure how you could even have the conversation without any actual true information on it. But one is the transfer portal and how many guys who are moving around, taking the money, staying in college football, maybe an added year or two, are affecting draft picks. Like some guys maybe that would traditionally have heard their names called are not hearing their names called potentially because of other guys who kind of stuck it out. They, instead of being a young, junior who's declared for the draft, is he ready? Is he not ready? Now has that extra year to prove it, and maybe gets a pick over somebody else. The other is the COVID year. I have no direct information. I would venture a guess in the next few months during the summer when people are looking for things to write about, someone's going to probably try to figure out a creative way to look into some of this. But we're pretty much done, I think, with the COVID eligibility stuff now. So how many of these guys went? How many of these guys didn't go? How many of these guys were affected by NIL in college and instead of going late, decided to stay and take the name, image, and likeness cash to play one more year of college football? I mean, the draft has kind of changed from what it used to be. Like you got John, when you were playing football, you had you were 21 to 23 if you went. Now you're 21 to 25, and that's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? The quarterback that the Saints took, which I was shocked at that pick. He's 26, right? I think he was like 26 years old. Yeah, I think so. He's old. So yeah, you're seeing older and older guys, and that's because of the COVID year stuff. So all that's starting to phase out now. Like those guys are gone after this year. It's over and done with for those guys. So yeah, I mean, you've seen guys older. I mean, I was 20. Like I turned 24 3 months after the draft.
Mm-hmm.
But I stuck around for 5 years. The way the way you're supposed to do it. You come in, you get redshirted, you develop, and then you start for 2 3 years, and then you move on. Well, today, all the crazy, what that goes on. So, but yeah, I think all these older guys phased out in this draft. So I think going forward, you'll kind of see it back to that 21 to 23-year-olds.
So think about this, guys. Think about this, Mike and Strick. Carson Beck. Had he stayed in the draft, knowing the strength or lack thereof of the quarterback class this year, I don't really know where he would have gone. But is he making more money by staying in school one more year and playing at Miami?
Yes.
And then the other question is Quinn Ewers. Like he was the last quarterback taken. He had a year. What if he decided to stay in college and play one more year?
Yeah, well, I was told that Texas told him, we're Arch is getting the ball.
We're moving on.
It doesn't matter.
But what if he would have gone somewhere else?
He could have made millions somewhere else.
Yeah, he could have.
Yeah. So I mean, in effect, he took a pay cut. For that matter, Shedeur Sanders. I mean, you don't get a whole lot of money if you're a 5th-round pick. He was making 7 figures at Colorado when he wasn't selling merch at the half of 29-point win lead against Stanford before losing. He was making a bunch of money. But at some point, first of all, these are two families, the Sanders family, the Ewers family. They don't need money. They got plenty of it.
They don't need it.
So it was best for those kids to pursue their dream and get that pro clock going. So I don't blame them. Now Beck, if he would have been draft eligible after the 2023 season, where he led the SEC in passing,
he would have been a high pick.
He would have been a high pick. I mean, all those
probably would have been second round.
Yeah,
the latest.
Yeah. He would have made some good coin. Now his stock just plummeted because whatever happened, dating a Cavender twin, getting a Lambo, who the hell knows? But he was not the same quarterback in 2024.
Well, he also had receivers that had the most drops in
That's true.
Football.
So
and he got no help right there.
He got no help, and he lost 2 pros from the year before, and Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers, who were like legit stars at the collegiate level and already making impacts in the NFL level. So you add all that up, and Carson Beck goes from a guy that could at least flirt with the first round to, well, he's trash. And he goes to Miami, and they got a sugar daddy, not to the level of John Strickland's roommate at the Shrine Bowl, but a pretty good one. And he gets $4 million.
Right.
So Carson Beck, the last couple of years between Georgia and Miami, has probably netted over $6 million. Not to mention all the free stuff, not to mention not paying for a damn thing. So these kids now in college, I mean, in some cases, you're right, Jamie. You're right, John. Like they're making more than they would as a 7th-round pick or on the reserve squad.
Well, I think look, South Carolina is not Texas or even Texas Tech now, or a lot of other schools. But, to bring this conversation home, as we talked about, John, I'm sure you were listening to Mike and I discuss this earlier, we're entering uncharted waters here at South Carolina. We're about to spend an entire summer and an entire fall, and then most of next spring talking about Lenore Sellers being a first-round draft pick. And that's never happened here at South Carolina, the way that it's about to happen. But let's just say that, Big John, strikes oil, literally himself, and becomes a billionaire. And, again, there's a lot of stuff that's about to change, and I don't know how they're going to actually be able to enforce all this, but a lot of the stuff's about to change. But if you are a guy like Lenore Sellers and you get to next year and they say, you're French first-round guy, and you got a couple million or a few $1 million on the table to return to South Carolina, while it might be appealing to go to the NFL and go ahead and shoot your shot, you do have a decision to make. So I'm pretty curious about how all this stuff. Like I would love to see the information directly and how it correlates positively or negatively, not only to the sport but to the players.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're going to be a first or second round draft pick, you're going to make more money than staying in college, even if you're getting $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 million. Because even if you're drafted in the second round, you're getting a 8-figure signing bonus. So that's 10 million plus. So you go. You don't hang around. You don't risk anything. You get out of Dodge. And every coach will tell you they will encourage their player, their first or second round pick. You need to go. Yeah. You need to go. Take care of your family. Do your thing. Best of luck. We appreciate it, but you need to go. But once you start getting down to that third round, I mean, even third round though, you're going to sign for a couple $1 million sign-on bonus. So it's a tough decision. I guess it just depends. But if you're a quarterback though, you're going to make that anyways in college. Hey, maybe I can improve my stock to a second or third round or first round pick. So I think that's just kind of how you have to look at it from that perspective, especially as a quarterback, because we all know the quarterbacks get paid the most money on every team, and that's true in the NFL and in college.
Yeah, it's a fascinating study. I'm not sure. You made the point earlier, John, about the guy at Texas Tech. Soon he won't be able to write that big check and just say, here you go. But
I think he knew he had to do it this year. I mean, he had to do it. Now he did just sell another company for $4 billion. So back in February.
Yeah, but the point is though, how could the NCAA or any enforcement group of theirs come along and say to this guy, you are not how much is your company worth? Oh, it's worth $5 billion. Oh, well, that's cool, but your market's not big enough, so you're not allowed to pay this guy X number of dollars in an NIL cash to be the face of your company. Like, I don't know how they're going to do. I don't know how they're going to try to tell a third party.
Well, I can tell you right now, a company like his, they're oil drilling. What is their starting quarterback got anything to do with advertising for oil drilling? Absolutely nothing. That's how they're going to look at it. It benefits them in no way, shape, or form to pay that guy anything to advertise for them, because that's not how that business works. Yeah. It's not about advertising. So that's the kind of thing that I think it does need to be weeded out. His kind of business, say his business was here. Hey, I want to put Lenore Sellers on a billboard with my company name on it. Well, that brings no value to the company, because all these guys who are in the oil business can give two shits. Like, they don't care. Like, that's not what. It's not going to help that company in any way, shape, or form.
But if
other companies, like it's different.
As the Haslams that own Pilot,
right?
Okay, so if I'm Tennessee, because that's his school of choice to give a lot of money to, when he's not wasting money on bad acquisitions with the Browns, I can go ahead and say, hey, so and so, my quarterback is the spokesperson for Pilot, where you should get your gas and your beef jerky and your 5-hour energy drink. Is the Deloitte Group, I believe that's the name of it, are they going to say, no, that's not true market value? And he's going to say, well, I got Pilots all over the place. Why is that not market value?
Because it's only applicable in the state of Tennessee and where they have a bunch of fans. If you're looking at it from marketing, it's not a national campaign.
Yeah, like the Pilot thing
worth
is
a lot of money.
The Pilot thing is legit. You hang whoever from Tennessee, their star player, you put it up on a billboard with this exit and such is on it. It is that Tennessee fan's gonna stop. Okay. Mm-hmm. But it's where I'm going back to is my old buddy Cody here. He's in the
that's an anomaly, because you're right. He's got a business that is very unique.
Yes,
but a lot of these sugar daddies, they do have a business that you can certainly justify marketing, to help drive more business.
100%.
And if you can attach that to an NIL figure and an athlete at a particular program, I just don't know. Like, I'm very curious how that's going to go legally, and they're going to say, no, that's not worth $2.5 million. What do you mean it's not worth 2.5? How do you know?
Yeah, and if it is to you, I mean, if JC and Mike and Mad Dog and myself decided we wanted to pay John Strickland $1 million to be the face of our network, and it's really only probably worth about $10,000, but we want to pay you $1 million. What if somebody came in and said, "Sorry, John, but I mean, it's $10,000 more than I'd give Flint for what it's worth." But you know, but somebody came in and said, "Well, JC, Jamie, you know, sorry, we determine what." No, it's our money. We think he's worth this. Like, we wouldn't let somebody tell us no to that. That's a private acquisition. I mean, a private deal.
But every business has regulations, and every sport has rules, and you can't now legally. I don't know if it'll hold up. You guys may be absolutely right, but I think this whole notion that, you know, somehow this is restricting earnings is ridiculous.
Well,
I think agents and people that, you know, are at schools like Oregon that are trying to just spend whatever are pushing that. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I know you don't disagree with the rule. You're just you know, trying to figure out how they're going to argue against it in court.
I'm 100% with you on that. Like, I think it's ridiculous where it is, but I'm just trying to. Everything is challenged in court. Every single one of these is going to be challenged.
I think we are all in agreement that there should be guardrails, and
there's got to be.
Like we all agree on that, right? But here's how I think. It's kind of the same way. Like, I run a fantasy football league, and I've run a football and a baseball league for years. When I'm writing up rules, you know what I have to think about? It's not the guy that's going to play it straight. I got to think about the guy in the league that's always looking for a loophole that he can find an edge to win the league. And everybody who's played fantasy sports knows who I'm talking about. There's always that guy. Oh, it's not in the rule book. It says I can't do that. So when I look at this, I'm thinking to myself, how in the world? Let's go to Arkansas. How am I going to stop Tyson's Chicken, multi-billionaire? Chances are, if you've had fried chicken any time in the last week, month, year, it's come from Tyson. How am I going to stop him from putting millions of dollars into players' pockets to play basketball at Arkansas, or for that matter, football, if he decides to go that route? Like, how are you going to prove that there's no avenue there to kind of do some NIL market value promotion?
No, there is. I mean, there's going to be analytics on all this stuff. I mean, you can go back and look and see what advertising contracts were to individuals in the past. I mean, so I think there's ways to look at it.
Also, some of these mega companies, Mike, are publicly traded.
Yeah,
like the guy that runs it or the chair is rich because he's the number one stockholder. He's chair of the board. But in a corporation that big, you're actually they have marketing budgets and everything else. At some point, these people love football, but they're not going to screw with their company to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's just like the whole notion, like, like the notion that the bag man's coming back, right? The bag man isn't the guy, Jimmy Haslam. That's not the bag. Jimmy Haslam builds buildings and pays coaches. You know, it's your guy that's, man, he's got 7 figures in the bank, 30 grand isn't going to put him back, you know, and you know, with the money you're making at NIL these days, just on rev share alone, guys, with great players, nobody's going to give $1.5 million in cash to anybody. That, you know, the IRS, I mean, you know, that's illegal. I mean, how are you supposed to do that? 20,000 is one thing, you know, and the best player, one of the best players ever, I know for a fact, and besides Cam Newton, got 180 grand for 3 years in college football. Cam got 180 for 1, which was worth it. That's tops, man. Most of the time you're talking 30 G's for a 5-star. Now it's ridiculous. Some schools are paying $1 million. I just don't know how they're going to launder that, but At the same time, the schools that do figure out NIL and how to have a sweet thing going with their business partners in the community, because what I'm not mentioning is it may not be one, but it may be 7 legit businesses. Yeah, like the people that own Raising Cane's in Louisiana.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you got actually. All right, we're just 7 Raising Cane's deals. You know.
Yeah, I mean, there's some companies like the Raising, but some of these other companies we talked about, they are publicly traded, and everything is approved by shareholders and board members. And you got those people from all different walks of life, different universities, different states. I mean, they're not going to approve that kind of stuff just because the CEO wants to pay his school. I mean, it's just not going to happen.
I understand what I mean. Look, you guys are both of you. Heck, probably everybody on this panel, much more business savvy than me. I'm just a guy.
I work for a publicly traded company the past 16 years, but now we're private equity. But we were public for 16 years, and none of that would ever fly.
I understand that, and I could be completely off on it. And look, in my utopia, I wouldn't mind it where there's true revenue sharing salary cap like we have in the NFL, and everybody's playing with the same. Yeah, kind of, minus the bagmen, yes. But if everybody's got, like, let's just say 15 million out of the 22 goes to football, and whoever's the smartest and the best coaching, and that's who rises to the top, right? That's wouldn't that be great? Forgive me for being cynical. I just have this weird feeling that the elite programs are still going to be able to get more money in players' pockets, one way or the other, get more players. And 10 years from now, when we're having this discussion and we're going over another preseason top 25 poll, it's going to be the same programs in the top 10 with massive resources and tradition.
Well, you'll see.
I could be wrong. I hope I am. I'd love to see a fresh face in football, but I don't see it changing.
There is a difference between these days resources when it comes to Alabama and Georgia and Texas A&M. A big one.
Oil money.
Yeah. All money.
There's a difference between Ohio State and Auburn, whereas when it was just the Bagman days, maybe not so much, so and the interesting part of it is this revenue share is an NIL deal. I said that on JC and Morgan, Mike, before anybody thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
They should pay me. I should sue them over this. Since everybody's suing the NCAA, I should sue them. This was my idea. I said, television is an entertainment product. You are using their name, image, and likeness on television. You don't have to call it salary, but you should give them a cut because, if you have a great TV shows, even the reality TV actors get paid too much, probably, to act like morons. They're like science experiments.
Hey, the OC was legit, so back off.
I'm sorry, Jamie.
That was a good show.
My bad. But no, so, I mean, everything the players touch, jersey sales, tickets. Taylor Swift makes how much per ticket at her concerts? They're not paying her producer that much, I mean, my point is the talent does need to get paid. But it is an NIL deal. It's not salary. And I think that's the way they've justified keeping everything amateur. The final point on this is this. People need to shut up about it's not fair to the players. You're taking their money away. You got that crowd. Name another on-the-job. I've said this before on the other show. Another on-the-job training program in this country where you get first-class meals, a personal nutritionist, all the mental health support you need, all the medical care you need. You get books, tuition, you live in the nicest dorms. Oh, and by the way, you're at least getting 6-figure salary with a chance to go to 7 if you're really good. All before you complete your training to go to the professional level. Do they pay law school students that? Yeah, and you get no tuition. All that's free.
It's like $250,000.
That's the best benefits package in the country. For any job, especially one that, oh, by the way, is on the job training. They're not professionals yet until they change the age limit, which hell, maybe they don't know anything about the game.
I wish I had it.
Dude, yeah.
Right.
I mean, and in no other, revenue sports, the 2 revenue sports, in no other thing where you're going into college, I don't care if you're a valedictorian, you're going to MIT, whatever. You may have a little job on campus.
You've been into the debate or we're anti-player.
Yeah.
That's just
I'm
that's what
anti-player.
makes this so
I
stupid.
don't think they deserve a penny. A bunch of losers.
Because they're basing everything on high school, Jamie.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I got to go eat an avocado